right, it sounds like we're going to get started. So I know everybody just ate, so it's probably nice and energized for this presentation, but ultimately we're here to talk about ways to, improve business. What are the things that we can do? One of the biggest things obviously is events within the store to drive traffic. What I want to talk about today essentially is an easy option for your store to add to its event schedule. And we'll get into a little bit more. My name is Justin Van Mater. Basically, my role as sales director with National Rarities is to work with you, the jewelers, to put on these events. Our typical stores are doing 2 to 4 events a year. So between myself, finding new partners to work with, and our account management team, we're the ones you'd be dealing with on a day-to-day basis if anything was needed. So National Rarities, essentially, we are the nation's largest and most trusted event-based estate buying company in the country. So when we're talking about what are the advantages of being larger than the other ones, it's really the fact that it allows us to buy a wider range of items. So we have specialists in things from designer handbags to firearms, artwork. So it's that wide range of items that other estate buying companies out there cannot do simply because they're not quite as large and they don't have that specialty in that certain subject. So that's one of the advantages of it. When we talk trusted, looking at our reviews, those types of things, when we're coming into a store, ultimately, we're advertising with your logo, your brand. So your logo, your brand, we treat it as if it was our own. So when you look at our Google reviews, you look at the responses, you talk to some of our partners, some of them are in the room today, talking about how we handle ourselves within the store. It's that trust factor that's an important aspect to the service that we provide. Members of CBG, IJO, any of you that are going out to JCK, we'll see you out there. Centurion, I see a few of you out there as well. And really across the country, we're up to about 250 partners now. As I said, typically 2 or so events a year. Some do more, but we'll do a little over 400 events this year. So we're doing 9 or 10 events a week. So as you can imagine, doing 9 or 10 events a week, we really feel like our specialization in events and putting on successful events on a week in, week out basis. So beyond just our buying events, if you ever have any kind of questions or ideas, advertisement, we provide you with the marketing data after our events as well. So you can see where people came in from. We're happy to work with you on that standpoint to just give any kind of advice, any suggestions, any kind of support we can lend to. So when we're looking at what is in a buying event, right? We're not there to sell anything. We're actually there to buy. So we're a lot different than the standard event that might get put on at the store. When we're talking about why you should have a buying event, really, there's going to be a multitude of reasons, and we'll get into those a little bit more. But let's look at what to expect from a buying event. This is just a quick little cartoon so you can kind of see how a buying event lays out.
Here's what to expect when you host a buying event with National Rarities. National Rarities advertises on several media platforms, from direct mail to newspaper to social media advertising and broadcast TV. We create a personalized plan for your store. During your event, we purchase a wide range of items from customers, generating increased foot traffic in your store. After getting checked in, they'll have a chance to browse through your inventory before meeting with an estate specialist. Then we make a no-obligation offer on their items. If they accept, they'll have extra money and the opportunity to buy new valuables from your store. All it takes is a few easy steps to set up your event with National Rarities. Contact us today to host you. Here's what.
So pretty simple. Honestly, on your end, what we ask from you is your logo, any advice you have in your area from an advertising standpoint that you've seen worked before, we'd love to hear that from you. We'll take that, we'll run it with all of our data that we have going into it, and then we create an advertisement plan that works for the event. So just keeping in mind that this is an opportunity to add to your schedule that does not take the legwork that a standard event on your end does, because we're going to handle all the media buy. We're going to handle the process, sending 3 to 4 buyers probably for a first-time event to handle the customer traffic coming through your doors. And then essentially what it touched on at the end, handing the customer a check. Really, we want to convert those people coming in to sell us things into your customers, right? So an average event, what we're talking about is 112 customers or 37 people a day. We have some of our jewelers that do well in excess of 200 people over the 3-day period, but how do we convert those customers into your customers? And really, that is an opportunity that most of our jewelers have is a 20% in-store credit bonus. Essentially, that looks like we buy a $1,000 designer handbag. They can leave with that $1,000 check, or they can sign it over to the store for $1,200 in store credit. Now we've just taken somebody that hasn't been to your store before. They sold us items, we put cash in their hand, and now they've converted it over to store credit and become a customer of yours. So that's how we're really benefiting beyond just buying. We're benefiting and getting them to buy within your store now. So the free advertisement, your name, your logo is featured on all of it. Like mentioned, full page ad in the newspaper, social media, postcard mailers. We're also doing online digital advertisement as well. And we'll look at television in the market too. Repurposing sentimental jewelry. So our buyers are well trained from an aspect. We all know, any of you that do buying come in, and some people have maybe an inflated value of what that item's worth, or they're just not ever going to get to the realistic price point of an item because it has sentimental value, right? And you can't pay for sentimental value. Essentially, our goal is to convert that over to you and increase your repairs, increase your repurposing over that 3-day period. Many of our stores see a nice increase in that as well. Little over 80% of our jewelers that we work with do their own buying. We understand that buying can be an important aspect to revenue, to profit within your store. Keep in mind, we're coming in for a 3-day event. Typically, it's Monday through Wednesday or Tuesday through Thursday. And essentially, we're putting out to your entire community with a lot of advertisement dollars that your store is buyers. So seeing that influx in your own buying after we leave town is another benefit that you're able to see with our events. And then long-term results, when we're talking about all of it together, but it's a long-term partnership. Ultimately, when somebody comes into your store after those 3 days and we're not there, if it's not something that you want to buy, we're there for you to refer to us, and we'll pay you that 10% commission. But even more so than that 10% commission, it's giving you an avenue to not say no to your customer. Now you have a way for somebody that comes in with that military item, artwork, the random things that they tend to come into your store with, an avenue for them to sell. It's just an added additional benefit of customer service that you're able to provide to your customers. We talked about it. We really buy a wide range of items, more so than other companies out there, more so than most jewelers are able to do. You know, the antique toys, the coins, you know, some of you might buy sterling silver, and that is one of the things that we buy as well. But marketing a wide range of items is bringing in a wide range of customers into the store. With over 40 buyers on staff, as I mentioned, we're doing 9 or 10 of these events a week. So we have that capability to do multiple locations at the same time. If you're familiar with Ware Jewelers or Descends up in Boston, Duncan's Diamonds down in Port Charlotte, Naples area, we're doing, or Moody's in Tulsa, we're doing all 4 locations at the same time. So making it seamless and easy from that standpoint if you do have multiple locations. Really keeping it as simple as possible for you is a big aspect. As I said, logo, maybe any of the advertisement advice, and then really we take it over from there. Of course, we'll put the advertisement together. We get your approval, but your goal really is over those 3 days to just be prepared, have your sales team ready to convert the people coming in for the event into your customers. We talk about advertisement, newspaper, full page. The postcard mailers is another great avenue that we continue to see increase. I was talking to someone earlier, essentially 2 years ago, an average event was 88 customers, 99 last year, and now we're up over 112 for 2023. So continuing to get smarter with our data, and postcard mailers has been a great avenue, as I'm sure it is for a lot of you as well. Social media, digital advertisement, and then looking at television. I know most of you are doing postcard mailers, you're doing online, you're doing social media, but keep in mind the extra advertisement of newspaper, television. Those are potentially some avenues that you haven't worked with before, or it's been a while. We will provide that data, as I said before, to where you can see how many people came in through those avenues. When you're thinking about an event, there's definitely a few questions you're going to want to ask yourself. What time of year? This can have a few different trains of thoughts, but really you're thinking, do I want them to come in at a slow time of year to build traffic? We're absolutely on board with it. We can put on a successful event even during your slow time of year. The other is putting on an event potentially before your busy time of year happens. We get a lot of stores that want to have us right after Thanksgiving. We have an event, it gets us out, their name out in the community right before the busy time of Christmas. So whatever time of year works best for you, we believe that it can work for us. Firearms are optional. You know, some of the stores are very successful with them, but we don't have to buy them, so that would be up to you. And then the 20% store credit bonus can be 10, can be 30. You don't have to do it either, but we strongly suggest it. It's just another great way to keep the revenue in the store. And then how many events a year make sense? We definitely want to go into it with, let's try one. And then we talk after the event, how many events make sense? And then we'll look at scheduling out for the year. It could be 2, it could be 4. We do have one store in Vegas that is having 8 with us this year. There's a handful of our partners that work in here, so I'm not going to make you watch this video of other partners and what they talked about. Actually, BBK is a part of this video. So just encourage you to talk with Becky Beauchesne, Kiefer, just a couple of jewelers that we partner with while you're here, see what they think about us. And ultimately, I know I kind of breezed through it, but just want to see if there's any questions at this time that I can answer. Or... You guys are easy. This is great. I left a stack of folders over there. My business card's in there, so don't feel like you have to take the whole folder with you. But if you want to just grab my business card out there, essentially just text me, call me. I'll be at the cocktail hour tonight. If you're interested, we can definitely talk more. We're booking out until August right now. Booking out at least 90 days in advance is our typical process because we handle the licensing and the legal part of it as well. It gives us plenty of time to take those steps that are necessary to abide by all the legal necessities within your community too. So that's it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm curious, is there a certain time of year that you find is more effective for buying than others?
Not necessarily. So, you know, the only time that we see it is in the north, really, when you're talking about have the baby boomers and those snowbirds gone south. But ultimately, from our standpoint, we've had successful events and we have plenty of events in the north in November. It's just thinking about your community and making sure that there's not some other event going on. And we are that company that wants to come into your business during your slow time. You don't get very many people saying that, but we are confident enough that we can come in during your slow time of year to make it and still have a successful event. Auction, for the most part, when we're going into it, we really live by the resaleable. If it is resaleable, we are going to sell it. Of course, there's things like most sterling silverware sets and those types of things that are going off to the refiners. But everything gets comes back to our headquarters. Just as many of our buyers that are out there are back home breaking these things down and then sending them off to whatever auction sites are typically the best, depending on what the item is. So over the 3 days, because we've invested in the advertisement dollars, we've invested in our teams traveling up there, we do reserve right to buy anything over those 3 days. However, if there is something that you want specifically, we do earmark it and give you the first right to buy it. But just to ensure that everything is done properly, everything goes back to headquarters, and then we'll let you know that, hey, it's available. Do you still want it? You know, there is a little bit of that. We're happy to be that service. We do not give official appraisals. That's one thing that we're pretty clear about. But giving a fair market value, if somebody's coming in and has a couple things that was grandma's and it's been passed down through, or it's been passed down through generations, we're happy to give the insight on it. We do look at this as a customer service event. So if somebody comes in from that aspect, we do want to provide that service. So initially on a first-time event, depending on the store location, all those factors, it's going to be somewhere 3 or 4. We do have a couple events that continue to be wildly successful that we send 4, 5, even 6 members of our team out there. We take over the workload on everything coming through. On your end, it's really, we want them to be focused on the sales side. We want them to be focused on your inventory, what you're trying to sell. So as people are coming in, if they're waiting in line, we would strongly suggest to your sales team, make a conversation, offer to clean a ring, you know, whatever it might be. If you see somebody that comes in with a certain style, walk them over to some of the style in your store, just like you would normally do. If you treat them like your customers and trying to make a sale, that's all we would suggest on your end, but we handle the entire buying process on our end.